Hey, what's going on? Mark here for Unoriginal Noobs. Here in Resonant Rise Server Play, Season 1, Episode 6. And once again, let's get out of F5 mode once again. Oh, look. I got some glasses. I went to spawn and they were giving out free terminal glasses, so I put them on. I don't really need any of the armor anyway. Anyway, let's get right into the episode. So a few things you might notice right off the bat. I've gone ahead and I've added a whole bunch of raid lamps everywhere because I noticed it was a little dark the last couple episodes and it was a little hard to see, especially when I rendered the video in certain codecs, I guess you could say. It was very obnoxiously dark. So I've added a bunch of wraith lamps, and I don't need these torches anymore. I'm just using them as guide markers, I guess, right now, just so I can make everything symmetrical. So we'll get to this thing in a bit later, but let's jump over to here first. So I have this little laser set up here, but I haven't really had it powered, and I've had it collecting a whole bunch of ores for me. And what I want to do with these ores is I want to set up an auto processing area so that every possible ore I get from the mining laser can be processed, right? And if I don't want the ore, then I'll just kind of leave it in there if I don't really think I need it to be processed or not. So all the ores I'm able to put in my Tinker's Construct, I've already gone and processed, but all of these ores I can't put in Tinker's Construct. I can't put diamond or lapis or redstone or coal into a furnace. So what I need to do is I need to get a pulverizer, furnaces, and whatnot setups going so I can automate all these ores. So that's what this little area here is going to be. On top of that, these lasers, I'm going to want more than one, and they require obnoxiously huge amounts of power. Oh, let's jump on the little resonant pool. Oh, I missed it. Are you serious? No? Okay. Anyway, these things require tons of power. So I'm going to need to upgrade my reactor, and I'm not going to just upgrade it, make it bigger. I'm going to make a turbine. I'm going to make a big turbine reactor, and I'll have that thing producing crazy amounts of power. But I want this thing to be the most efficient it possibly can be because I want the least amount of fuel it can consume. So I need to make some cryotheum. And I calculated it, and I did it on my calculator here. And I believe, so let's go up to the top. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 6. So that's 30, or sorry, sorry. 5 times 6 is 30, but then there's 4 missing because of the centerpieces. So it's only 26. And then it's 26 by 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we take 26 times 4, that's 26. I have a calculator here. 26 times 4, that's 104. So I need 104 cryotheum buckets. So I've already made some liquid cryotheum, but I only have 54 buckets. So I got a little ways to go. I'll do that off camera. I might set up the automation for it on camera, but I'll get all that off camera and I'll fill that up off camera. Don't worry about that. So what I also have planned is for these lasers, so the area behind here, I think I'll set up these 2 rows also. I'll put plants on, and I'll have a bunch of uranium ones too for yellowite. But then these ones I'm going to reconfigure. I'm going to resize them so that they're properly fitted for lasers, and I'll have a row of lasers back here, and they'll just be getting us tons of ores. Because you'd think it gets you ores pretty slowly, but to fill this chest up literally took, and this chest was full, I mean full, because I emptied out a bunch of ores already. This only took about like 30 minutes or so to get all of these ores, and no cobblestone or junk or anything. So I thought that was pretty cool. Alright, so now let's get into this thing. What I've done here is I've pre-carved out a little area, and I've kind of put some hardened colored clay around it so we kind of see the area, some stained clay. And I've got ahead and I've made a little underwork for it so we can kind of access stuff. And this is where our initial pulverizers and furnaces and induction furnaces and everything we want to automate is going to go. So I have a little golden bag of holding with all the stuff we're going to need, along with some auto crafting stuff that I just was using to test. And so why don't we go ahead and do this? So I'll grab some redstone energy conduit, and we can go ahead and just place this along the bottom here, just to put all of our machines on, because all of our machines obviously need power. So this part shouldn't take too long. This is the easy part. We can go ahead and do that, and we can do that. We'll just come around the side here. Do that and that. All right, perfect. So we need to supply power to all of these. So how are we going to do that? Well, I had a plan of just kind of linking across like this, and then this one can just go all the way across, and it can go all the way down this way, all the way down this way again, and keep going. And we can do the exact same on this side here. This one can link up here, and then it can go across, link up, and that's all the ones I have right there for now. So we can go ahead and just get rid of those. All right, and I just had it hooked up to this tesseract because it was there. It was easy, simple. and there's not too much hassle I need to hook it up. Okay, so now all these will have power, so we can just hop back up through the little hole here, and we can go ahead and set up some of the machines. So if I go ahead, I have, oops, that's not the right one. That's the right one. So I have 6 furnaces, 8 pulverizers, 2 induction smelters, a magma, okay, I don't need that magma crucible. Actually, yeah, I do. I need the magma crucible, the fluid transposer. I don't need you at the moment. We'll use you for a little bit later. So I can go ahead and let's put all the furnaces here. So I'll put 2 furnaces there, 2 furnaces there, and then we'll set up 2 more furnaces here. So we can go ahead and just kind of disable all their configs for now, and I'll disable all their configs now, and I'll just go off camera and set up all the configs once I put in all the rest of the parts. So we can go ahead and let's put pulverizers there, and we can go around over to the other side and simply do that as well. There and there as well. And I'm going to have this all hooked up to my AE system, so it's all automated. And I think it'll be really cool because I can automate items that I want to actually have in my inventory at certain times. So let's set up 2 more pulverizers here. And we can set up the induction smelter here. And we can set up a fluid transposer. No, magma crucible there and a fluid transposer there. And then we can just set you guys to this, that, and there. All right. So let's go back to the cryo theme for a sec. So I want to fill this up with cryo theme. And if we go to the cryo theme, I have it in the NEI tab here. Well, I need some redstone, a snowball, some blizz powder, which you can make from fluid transposing destabilized redstone into a snowball. So that's what the glacial precipitator was for. I was just making a bunch of snowballs, and if we come down here, I have a whole bunch of, I have some more blizz powder. I already have a whole bunch of destabilized redstone that I was using to make some already. I can actually go ahead, and then I just have the crafting recipe set up in here, so I can put the blizz powder in there, get the cryotheum, and I'll just dump that in my inventory. So it also needs some either saltpeter from railcraft or metallurgy, but you can also use, if it gets around, niter from thermal expansion. Okay, so this was the easiest one in my opinion to get. So how do we get niter? Well, if I click on it, there's a 15% chance we can get niter from pulverizing sandstone, and we only get 2 of the sandstone back, so we can't just have an infinite, we can't just cycle this through the same system because it takes 4 sand to make a piece of sandstone. So what my thoughts was, is if I go into my inventory here, I have a igneous extruder, which I can infinitely make cobblestone with, and then I can just have that going into a pulverizer, which to get a sand, and I can have that sand being auto-crafted into sandstone, and then have that sandstone being pulverized, and that's what I had doing. So if we go in here, what was it called again, actually? What was it? Oh yeah, niter. So I type in niter. I have 99 niter because I just had this going for a little bit. Anyway, that's the whole point of it. So if I go into my bag here, I can set up all the imports and export buses. Oh, ha. All right, that's a little awkward. I'll have to figure out which ones are which. Ha, that's weird. Because I already had this system set up already just to make sure it actually works, and then I took it all down, and I'm resetting it back up right now. Basically is what I'm doing. But apparently if you shift click now on these export buses and stuff, it keeps the configuration in them. So I can see all these are pre-configured. That's pretty cool actually. So shoot, I don't remember. I'll have to look at all of these. Let's see which ones are which actually. So let's go into here, let's put it down, let's just take a quick peek in it. This one is cobblestone. I'll just reconfigure these all off camera. That won't be too bad. And that one you don't seem to be configured to anything. I don't know what you're talking about. We can get review and just shift click you all up. You're still saying you're pre-configured. There's nothing in you though. Weird. Okay, whatever. So all the furnaces I'm gonna have inputting in the top. Easy, like so. Where did you? Hello? What the heck? Oh, that was weird. And same with the pulverizers. And I must have more in here than just, yeah, right here. And we'll just have you going like that. Okay, that's easy enough. We're missing some. What the heck? I had this all set up. There's no way we can be missing any. Huh, interesting. Anyway, I think you get the point. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to set up all of these off camera quickly. I'm just putting on import export buses, and I'll just get all the machines set up, and then I'll put in the crafting recipes and stuff all on camera because I think that's a little bit more interesting. So I'll be back in just a sec. See you in a bit. Okay, so I have all the machines hooked up with their respective import, export buses or interfaces, and I have them all set up with their import and export in the configuration tab. So all I did was, I did that obviously, and then I just went underneath and I hooked up all the power and the AE lines. So we'll go ahead and I'll just put in these patterns that I have. I kind of pre-made all these patterns already. So if I just have to see what these patterns are at first. So I only have 4 of them. Okay, so yeah, I have some patterns making hardened glass and some patterns making tesseract frames and to automate tesseracts for me. So let's do the hardened glass first. All right, so to make hardened glass, I believe we just type in, if we get hardened glass out here, hardened glass. There we go, hardened glass right here. Okay, so it is obsidian and I believe lead. So we need to go get some. I think some of these might be yeah, okay. Perfect. Some of these are already, they're all preset. Awesome. So an induction furnace that was already set to a lead. So I already have the export thing and export configuration in the ME interface. So it is hooked up to my system. And I'm saying, I want you to keep at all times 8 lead ingots and 64 pulverized obsidian in this system. And then I can put in this hardened glass crafting recipe into here because it takes 8 pulverized obsidian and 1 lead ingot. So if I come into my system and I go to hardened glass, oh, I have a whole bunch of it. But if I just go to, actually, let's do this. If I say just do crafting, no, I want craftable. All right, so let's craft a piece of hardened glass. And if we come over here, it should, well, it did go in. It has no power. Why do you have no power? What the heck? You have 0 power. Wow. Okay. Whoops. The one thing I didn't put the power to. That is hilarious. I'll just do that, and connect. Okay. Oh, run back up quick before it finishes. Ah. Okay. There you can see it's cooking. So I requested hardened glass, and in my whole system, it said, "Oh, there's a hardened glass recipe here," and it's saying, "Well, I don't know how that recipe works, but it says if I just put 8 pulverized obsidian and 1 lead ingot into this, I'm going to get hardened glass out of it," which is exactly how it works. And if we go look in this recipe I have here, this is if I run out of obsidian or pulverized obsidian. So if I come into my system here, obsidian, and we go actually look at all the items, you could say I have a whole bunch, but if I was out of all my pulverized obsidian, I can come over to one of these pulverizers, put this recipe in here with the obsidian, and I'm saying I want you to keep at all times 8 obsidian into here. And then so say I cook up a hardened glass recipe, but I have no pulverized obsidian. Well, it's going to say, okay, well, to make this, I need pulverized obsidian. Oh, but wait a minute, we have no pulverized obsidian. How do we get pulverized obsidian? Well, then it's going to look for any recipes, if I have any recipes that make pulverized obsidian, and it's going to see in this interface, oh, we have a recipe for it. It's saying if I put some obsidian down into the pulverizer, or into whatever machine is below this, I'll get some obsidian out of it. So one last thing I want to do is I just want to set all of these to downwards quickly. Do that, and we'll do it for these ones too. All right, perfect. So then I also have a tesseract frame one here, and I believe this one crafts a tesseract frame full with a tesseract frame empty, and this one crafts a tesseract frame full with 4 ender pearls. And I think I did that in these ones here. Yes, so I believe I can put, if I go into this one is the one that puts, so yeah. So I'm going to need a tesseract frame one in there, and this one will craft one from, so I need to put that one in there, and then I need to put this one in here. Okay, so, and we'll go back and we'll just dump this into my system. And it should be immediately taken away and put into that interface. So how this is working is how I have that one working is if I request a tesseract from scratch, and I already have the recipe in my system that makes the frame. So I request a tesseract, and then it's going to say, okay, well, how are we going to make a tesseract? Well, I have 2 recipes that are making a tesseract. Well, okay, so actually let's go to the tesseract recipe, because I want to kind of explain this, because it's kind of pretty cool of how much automation. I'm completely automated tesseract from scratch. So to make a tesseract right here, we need a tesseract frame. Well, to make a tesseract frame, we need a tesseract empty. So I have this recipe in my crafting computer already automated, but I need to fill it up with liquid resonant ender first. So what I have is I have a magma crucible and a fluid transposer, and I'm saying if I request a tesseract frame, dump in 4 ender pearls. You can see where it says crafts 1 tesseract frame with 4 ender pearls. So I'm saying if I want a tesseract, dump 4 ender pearls into the magma crucible, which is the exact amount to fill up a tesseract frame. And then I'm saying and then it also applies to this one too, because it's the same item. So I'm saying if I want a tesseract frame full, dump a tesseract frame empty into the fluid transposer. So it crafts up a frame, dumps it into the fluid transposer. At the same time, 4 ender pearls are being put into the magma crucible, and then the magma crucible cooks up those 4 ender pearls, puts it into the frame, fills up the frame, and then that filled tesseract frame gets crafted with the bronze and the silver to make me a tesseract from scratch. I don't have to craft a single thing. It is 100% automated. It is super, super cool. So I think the one last thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead off camera quickly. I'm going to make another magma crucible fluid transposer, set it up here, and I'm going to have that one making liquid. So what I'm going to do to finish out this episode is I'm going to fully automate the making of cryotheum, because I need a lot more to fill up that reactor. So I'll just go ahead and I'll automate the cryotheum, but I'll have to get all the parts first, so I'll be back in just a sec. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I've set up the magma crucibles and the fluid transposers that I will need to automate all of my cryotheum production. And I went ahead and I set it up all off camera, sorry about that, because it took a bunch of trial and error actually, and how I wanted to have it exactly laid out. And I tried using fluid interfaces because I thought they'd work the same as this, where I could choose and put recipes in them, but they don't exactly work the same like that. They're a little bit different. And on the bottom, actually I'll come over top here first to show you. For fluid transposers, I need to put in redstone and I need to put in snowballs in order to make my blizz powder. But I can't do that because with these setups that I have, I only have one input in the top, and then I have to pull it out the back, and then my power's in the bottom. And I want to have a clean setup, so I don't want anything on the side. So I was thinking, oh man, how can I do this? And then I remembered Ender IO. So what I actually did is I connected the Ender IO. Ender IO power cables connect directly to Resonant Energy conduit power cables. So I just have that connecting into here. And then I have some item conduits pulling items out the bottom that go into an Ender chest. And then the Ender chest is connected to my system, which is just so any items that go into here just get pulled out with this import bus. So I thought that was pretty neat. So we can go ahead and we'll set up the automated system here. So what I'm going to need is I'm going to need some redstone, and I'm going to need to put that into a precision export bus right here. Do it by stacks at a time. And there we go. So now they're going in and we're getting liquid redstone out of it. And I'll kind of have to monitor this, and I'll put an automated shut off thing later on so that we don't actually overflow and use up all of our redstone, because that would be kind of crazy. So if we go in here, we should be losing redstone, and we go in here, we should be, yep, we're getting destabilized redstone, so we can go ahead and dump that back in there. Okay, so we're getting destabilized redstone, and now we need to take that destabilized redstone and some snow. So let's take some snow. We need 1 snowball, and then we need a bucket, which I have in my inventory, actually, or my backpack here. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab a bucket, and then we'll go ahead and we'll enter the fluid terminal. We'll pull out a bucket of redstone, easy peasy, and we'll go into the fluid export bus, and we'll put destabilized redstone into there. So now this should be filling up perfect with destabilized redstone, and now we will put in snowballs in here, and now we should be putting snowballs, and excellent. It's putting the redstone into, and now last moment of truth, perfect. So let's go to our blizz powder in here, and we should be getting blizz powder. Excellent, we're getting blizz powder. That's awesome. So I can just go right into here, take the blizz powder, put it right in here, and boom, cryotheum. So now we can make a whole bunch of cryotheum easy. It's all automated now to put into my reactor. So let's just go and we'll dump the bucket of redstone into here, and we'll take the bucket back. So now what we need to do is we need to automate the production of niter. And so to do that, we're going to need some sand, some sandstone. So it's not too terrible. So we'll get 1 piece of sandstone, and we'll get a piece of sand. And we're also going to need some cobblestone because, perfect. Okay, so I have a pulverizer. Which pulverizer here has do I have a pulverizer with sand that is preset? It might have been that one. I'm not sure. Oh, I have some more pulverizers. Oh no. Okay, let's see here. Oh no, I remember what I did. Okay, so we'll use these pulverizers here. So we're gonna need to, we'll set these. So we're gonna need to put in cobblestone to be pulverized into sand, and then we're gonna need to take that sand and turn it into sandstone. So if I come into the terminal here, I should have a sandstone recipe that crafts sandstone with 4 pieces of sand. Perfect. So let's go over to the crafting, or over to the precision export bus, put in cobblestone. Okay, so cobblestone should be going into the system now. So it's putting cobblestone into here to be pulverized into sand. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take that sand, and we want to craft items if needed, and we're going to take that sand and we're going to say we want sandstone now going into the pulverizer. So it should be putting sandstone in there. And what it's actually going to do, I'll just kind of explain this quickly here. I can dump you guys back in. Is it's saying, okay, so we want to put all the sandstone that we can into the pulverizer. But I also have, with this setting here, move single items / craft. That means that if there's, it's going to be trying to put sandstone into here, but if there is no sandstone in my system, it's going to look for a crafting recipe for sandstone, which, as a matter of fact, we have a crafting recipe for sandstone that crafts it with 4 sand. So we're pulverizing cobble into sand, and then it takes that sand, automatically crafts it into sandstone, and then pulverizes that sandstone to get niter as a byproduct. And we have a 15% chance of getting a niter, which we use in this right here to make our cryotheum dust with, or cryotheum kind of powder stuff with, which is pretty cool, I think. So I think that's all I wanted to do for this episode. I don't think there was anything else. I don't think, though. We got the cryotheum set up. Actually, I'll set up the fluid. I'll set up the automated to make the thing to make sure that we don't actually overflow our redstone system. So I'll actually do that right now. Do I have any patterns in here? No, I need a pattern. Pattern. We'll make one pattern quickly. So there we go. And pattern. Grab the pattern, and we'll go. And we need is it a level? Actually, I don't think. Let me just double check, make sure I don't have a fluid level emitter recipe in here already. I think I just have I do have a fluid level emitter. Okay, so we don't actually need one of those. So like a fluid level emitter, and I think the server I believe limits the power of CPUs. Why aren't you? Oh wow, whoa! I must have already had something in there. That was insanely fast. What are you needed to? Oh no. Oh, it's not too difficult anyway. Okay, so we want to set this. So we want to limit the amount of redstone we put in here so we don't actually overflow our system with redstone, because we already have a little bit of redstone in here. So we'll go ahead and we'll take out some redstone. So let's see here. If I put a level emitter facing downwards, and then I'll just get a piece of cable from my system here. One piece of cable. And, well, we only need one. And we'll do that. Excellent. So now we have a cable attached. And then I'll set it so when our redstone levels get above, oh, I don't know, let's say 30,000. So 30, 300, 3,000, 30,000. When our levels get above 30,000, I want you to emit a redstone signal, and then I want you to be active without a signal. So you should still be putting redstone into here. Perfect. So when our redstone levels get above 30,000, it's going to output a redstone signal, and then which means it will be powering this precision export bus. And this precision export bus is only active if it is not receiving a redstone signal. So if we just kind of test this out, so let's put this back down to 300 or to 0. This now is turned on, and now it should not be putting any more redstone into the system. Perfect. So we can put this back up to 300, 3,000, 30,000. So when we get over 30,000 redstone or destabilized redstone, it will turn off, and we won't waste all of our redstone and just come back in the morning with no redstone left and a whole bunch of liquid redstone, which would kind of be not too fun to deal with, because then I wouldn't have any redstone. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do for this episode. We actually did a little bit more than I was planning on doing, which is pretty cool. We didn't actually need that pattern in the first place. We can go ahead and put that back. We'll put the bucket back in my inventory. So next episode is going to be a really exciting one, because we're going to be setting up the turbine and setting up all the lasers, and we'll be getting a whole bunch of ore automation going, which will be really, really, really exciting, I think. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned something new maybe about setting up automation, kind of a nifty way to do things with Ender IO, and you can use that kind of Ender chest trick. Anyway, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.